guys, it's Clara. Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to give you a garden update. I really thought I was done, but I have some plants that are still thriving in this cold weather. I'm in zone 5, so I know a lot of my fellow gardeners out there and my family and friends, they've all harvested and they're pretty much done. But I think today I'm going to have to start to clean up the garden. Maybe I'll leave a few plants, but yeah, this garden is just not letting go. So we've had our first frost, and some lettuce and such are still surviving. So I'll go ahead and take you around. Just a warning though, it is a gigantic mess, and we've been harvesting since about Halloween. Okay, so starting right from the door, here's the herb garden, and I took a few clippings. Callie Kim had reminded me that I really should be proliferating the basil, so I have that inside in a glass of water trying to get roots. But this basil is pretty much done. There's only this little bit here, but I'm sure that'll die off soon. And look at these leaves. It is nuts. I have so many leaves. But yeah, I mean, I could take some of that sage and dry it, the oregano, the chives, and the thyme. So we'll see. And over here I have lettuce that I can certainly harvest today. If you've never grown lettuce before, when you grow it in cold weather and you kind of let it go and it doesn't have as much sun, it can be a little bit bitter. But that's to be expected, and I'm okay with a little bit bitter. It's not too bitter for me. And I'm just going to show you one pest that I had been dealing with, which actually hasn't been too bad because I've been using a neem oil spray. But I don't know if you could see little bugs in there. Those are dead actually. I just have to wash these down. But I was having aphids. An aphid problem here, so but this is fine. I'm gonna go ahead and harvest most of that today. Over here in the fenced in area, I just have a few plants left. These are the peas that I had grown, and I wasn't sure if they were going to make it or if I would harvest anything, but yes, I've been harvesting peas. And as you can see, I've been letting this go, this mildew go, because I'm going to take this out really. But when I was spraying it with the neem oil spray, it was doing fine. And I can certainly harvest these tendrils. The Rusted Garden, Gary Pilarchik had reminded me that you could consume these tendrils, and they are actually very, very good. And as you get down the stem, leaves get tougher, but I don't want to eat ones that have, you know, all that mildew there. But anyway, so I'll have to get rid of this plant today. And then this one is, I just kind of let this go. These are the marigolds that had died. There's a bunch of leaves in there. And this is from an old lettuce plant that I had here. And I bet that I could maybe harvest those seeds. We'll see. And over here I had a couple of green pepper plants that after I picked most of the peppers, I just kind of let them go. And look what I found this morning. I just totally somehow missed that I have a nice little pepper just hanging out waiting for me. So obviously I will pick that today. These two plants, I ended up planting Swiss chard in the fall from seed, and that was August 24th. And honestly, I've been so lazy this fall because I really haven't been keeping an eye on these. I'm kind of surprised this didn't get the aphid problem from this lettuce plant over here. But yeah, so these holes actually, they were there within the first week of the leaves appearing. So I just left them alone and, you know, let the leaves thrive as they could. I didn't want to sacrifice any leaves just because there's holes in them, but these are old actually, and yeah, these look pretty good. So I might actually let this keep going. Maybe I'll harvest one, but it's still so young and small. Same thing for this Swiss chard. I mean, I could pull the weeds, but I've been learning that in the fall, I mean, that is like, if you like lazy gardening and you like fall crops, that's a great time to garden, because I really don't water these at all. I kind of let the rain do its thing. If it hasn't rained in a week, which is very unlikely in the fall, then I'll water it. But you know, every time I check the soil, it's pretty moist. So and another thing I learned about fall gardening, the covering is so important to help from the cold and to kind of trap in the heat. And we still have moths and other pests in the fall, so I can't get too lazy. So the cloth is really nice to help with some of those problems. And then over here I have the garlic that I had planted, and I'm really not going to be harvesting these until next spring. And I had asked Gary Pilarchik about this. He's the Rusted Garden guy, and he had said that if there's greens that pop up, you know, just let it do its thing. You don't have to pull it up or anything. And I planted this August 8th, and this is the one where I took a bulb of garlic from the farmer's market, I separated it, turned it upside down, and planted it like this. So yeah. And then over here, unfortunately, like I said, I've been a bit too lazy this fall. So I had, I think I had one Swiss chard there, or a lettuce, and it only grew that tiny bit of green there, not a whole lot. This was my second pea plant, which also was really, really great, but it's time for it to go. You know, I've been harvesting the tendrils and the pea pods, but I believe it's really done, and this poor thing is just so huge and heavy. I had no idea that peas grow this tall. Like, this is a tomato cage, and it very well was like really tall, like 6 foot. So I'll have to plan better for that next time, and then maybe have something like this for a pea plant in the spring. I just harvested all the radishes out of here. They did pretty well. Some of them half and half. So half were regular sized French breakfast radishes, others were just like roots. And I did thin them out. That wasn't the issue, but it's just a matter of sun and warmth, I think. I did want to mention that the 2 zucchini plants that I had, which truthfully I have not pulled up yet, they're actually underneath these leaves, they had flowered and flowered and flowered, and I had harvested the flowers really up until the end, like 2 weeks ago. So I guess if I'm ever in a situation again where it seems like the plant is over, as long as it's not spreading lots of diseases or anything, I'll just leave it, unless I plan on planting something else, because I may get some surprises. So like little zucchinis were popping up. It was obviously too late for that, but you know, next year maybe. Over here is my little itty bitty rosemary plant. It's doing just great. Herbs tend to do pretty well. They're like almost like weeds, I guess. Over here, underneath all this mulch, I had pulled out the French breakfast radishes that were there, and there's a couple of garlic bulbs under here as well. And lastly, for the outside plants, I have this area. I did have some spinach, which I had already harvested, and that's all gone. And this pot is French breakfast radishes, which I had harvested about half of them. You could see some of, you might be able to see some of the soil is pulled up, but I love these. I actually prefer the French breakfast when they're a little bit young, because it's not so strong, but this is what they look like. Yeah, this is a really small one, but you know, with fall gardening, don't have high expectations, at least I don't. And here's another one. You could try to see what this one looks like. So yeah, a bit thicker. But what I do with these is I cut off the main root at the bottom. I eat this raw, and then I take these greens and I chop them up. I toss in some onion and a bit of egg, and I have like a really, really delicious omelet. The radish leaves have a really nice, rich taste to them. And then here is my butterheads. So yeah, as you can see, some of them are turning brown, so it's really time to pick these. So we'll be having salad for a while, and I've been clipping this as well, but I planted quite a few. So I don't know. I don't know if maybe I should bring this inside, put it under my lamp. So we'll see. And I'll go ahead and take you inside. I have a new plant. So I ended up bringing in the carrots, and I don't think it was way too late to plant carrots. I planted them August 24th. And yeah, they are not liking this area at all. It's very little sun. I just somehow don't have a great place for a lot of sun in my house. So yeah, I might just maybe harvest these greens. They look really pale and sad, but these are still edible if you want to throw them in something like a vegetable stew. But let me see what oh, a little itty bitty carrot. Isn't that cute? Let's see what these other ones look like. Let me try this one. And again, I mulched this one when it was outside, but yeah, it's kind of hard to gauge watering. Oh, look! Aren't those cute? Oh, here's one I pulled up earlier. It bifurcated. And then these are the green onions. I really need to harvest these. These are getting long and leggy and pale. It's just their time. It's their time. They've been left in the pot for way too long outside, and then I brought them in just because I didn't want to, you know, cut them yet. So anyway, this is my new plant. This is my calamandin, or in the Philippines we call it a calamansi plant. I ordered it online, and I'll link the where I bought it below. But it's been doing fairly well. I've been worried about fungus and those little worms and the fungus gnats. So I had a similar kind of citrus plant before, long ago, and I noticed that there were these little worms growing inside, and they probably attacked the roots. I kind of gave up on that plant. It was getting really, really sad. So we're going to try again. This is a 2-year-old plant, and it did flower, but I don't think anything came of those flowers. This is where it had flowered. Probably can't see, but that little thing here is where the flower fell off. So yeah, I don't think anything's gonna grow as far as a fruit, but that's okay. I want it to develop its root system first, get used to the location. Unfortunately, this is the sunniest location, and already, yeah. So, but I have been noticing a few new outshoots. This one is a new outshoot as of a month, and there was another one that was below the graft line here that I had cut so that it could continue to send energy up towards the top of the plant. So, you know, there are days, of course, in zone 5 where it isn't sunny, it isn't clear skies. So I ended up buying a lamp on Amazon. The ratings were pretty high. I don't think if you were to garden much more than this tree that this would be enough. But it's one of those lamps that have an LED bulb that's like a purple hue. And altogether, this costs about $20. And we already had this stand from a techie thing that my husband does, but you could certainly, I bet, put it on some other type of pole. So cross your fingers for me. Send me some gardening good luck and good karma vibes and prayers that this plant makes it through the winter. I just want it to survive this winter because I think I had bought it too late. I don't know why I decided to buy a citrus tree at the end of summer. I mean, really. Yeah, I mean, it's not like I'm in California or something, but yeah, so I'm hoping it just gets its good root system. I know that my family members, like my mother specifically, she has several of these trees. She's had them for years, and they produce like crazy. She doesn't really put any fertilizer. You know, she waters them maybe once or twice a week, and they are so prolific, and she loves them. But yeah, the thing is, like, I'm afraid I'm going to kill this thing. What she does that I have not done yet is she takes eggshells. She doesn't crush them or anything. She doesn't even boil them. And she turns them upside down, you know, so it's like a dome. And she puts them all at the floor of the pot. I noticed a lot of people do that, especially in Filipino households. So I don't know. Have you tried that? Is that something that works? I know with the calcium, perhaps that's probably why it's beneficial, but I have absolutely no idea. So anyway, that is it for this gardening update. As far as during the winter, I think I'm just going to keep this tree. I might maybe see if I can grow some other vegetables just to experiment again and, you know, keep trying new things. I think during the winter as well, I will keep some herbs here. I think I have to plant them anew. But this mint is looking pretty sad. I've been watering and maybe I overwater, I don't know. And but this basil, believe it or not, even though it looks really small and it looks kind of weak, believe it or not, it's doing a lot better because it used to be like this big and was kind of fallen over. So we'll see. And yes, look at all those leaves that we have to rake. Fun. So anyway, if you do any winter gardening, let me know. I would love to hear what you're doing. Otherwise, I hope you have a fantastic day. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.